When I think of Chof Sivan, I think of the scene 1940. Most of Europe had fallen to Hitler Yamach Shemai. The Blitzkrieg had decimated the country. The British army was trapped on a beach in Dunkirk. Hitler was closing in. They couldn't move back. There was the ocean. And the British did not have the ships to rescue their soldiers. They had 250,000 soldiers trapped at Dunkirk. Hitler was coming. If he would get to them, he would wipe out the core of the Great Britain's army. Great Britain would fall. World history would be completely different. So what happened? What changed everything? Churchill put out a call and said any civilian who has the capacity to help the Navy should join the Navy. Take the ship, the boat, whatever you have, join the Navy, and we're going to go to Dunkirk and get 250,000 soldiers and bring them back home to safety under bombardment. And so they didn't know if it was going to work. Untrained civilians joining a war effort. And what happened was, it was an incredible response. Fishermen, hundreds of fishermen came with their fishing vessels. People with yachts came. Merchant vessels, hundreds of them. Under attack, they reached the 250,000 soldiers and rescued them in what Churchill called the miracle of Dunkirk. And because they rescued that core group of soldiers, they were able to rebuild the British army. Later on, when America, the Allies, and Great Britain attacked Europe, that was the core of the army that helped in winning the war. The scene, to me, brings to mind what the Rebbe accomplished in America. Chof Sivan, he comes with the Rebbetzin to these shores. Much of the Jewish world was decimated. And in time, the Rebbe put out a call to the Jewish world. And he said, help us rebuild the Jewish world in America and around the world. And all that is needed is for the person to cross the channel of indifference, to cross a channel of where people are drowning in an ocean of assimilation, and whatever capacity you have will be instrumental in saving a Jew. The Jews are standing. Many of them are just standing. They're indifferent. They don't know. Reach them and bring them back to the safe shores of Yiddishkeit, of Torah, of mitzvah. And thousands responded to the Rebbe's call. Today there are thousands of institutions around the whole world. And it wasn't only great people that responded. The call was to every Jew. If you have a yacht, you have great capacity, spiritual capacity, ruchnistic capabilities, a big lamden. You have a yacht, then go out there and do what you can. And if you only have a kayak, if you say, look, I work every day. So you invite one Jew to your home that otherwise wouldn't celebrate Shabbos or learn. And if everybody takes the capacity they have to rescue Yidden, the world changes. And those are two things that never really happened in Jewish history. Number one was, in America at the time, there were frum institutions, and there were people learning and davening from communities. It was beautiful. But they were insular, and their focus was on survival, because America was seen as such a dangerous place. Chatzi kader atachten. The assimilation was so great, so the idea was, hopefully we can protect what we have. The Rebbe said, no, the lowest hemisphere, the Western hemisphere, which you might say is most indifferent to Kedusha, to Tara, to Torah, to Mitzvah. The Rebbe said the Elikus from this place could transform not only America, but the world. And that's what happened. So that was an incredible revolution in the Jewish world that changed it completely. And that the call is not only to those with the greatest talents and the holiest capacities, but everybody could be involved and has a responsibility, a shlichus, to really make a difference. And so those are the great lessons of Chof Sivan, that America not only could survive in a shtetl, but could survive the kedusha and godliness that we have here, when harnessed correctly, could ultimately kindle a light across the entire world. And the key lesson of it is that each one of us, everyone, could be a captain of Jewish destiny.